Lads, we're here for F1 2014 career mode here in Singapore. Today we've got a double episode on our hands and it should be absolutely fantastic. If we could hit 2,000 likes on this video, then I'll release a very special video that you guys have been wanting to see for a very long time. So if we hit that target, then you guys will see what I'm talking about. So here we are in Singapore. We're starting from P12, I believe. We had a wet qualifying 1 and 2. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it to Q3, so we're down the order a little bit in this race. Hamilton, I believe, is starting in P2, so we've got some work to do if we want to just engage in some damage limitation for this race. So it's going to be difficult to catch up to him, but we'll see what we can do. In the dry, we should actually be very quick around the Singapore streets here. So 5 red lights, and away we go here in Singapore for the 13th round of this season, I believe it is. But coming into turn 1, we've been mugged off by Bottas there as we come through. We're going to go back up the inside of Satil, and it's been a fairly decent start so far. Actually getting a bit of oversteer there, which cost us the positions that we did gain in turn 1. So we survived the first couple of corners. We do have realistic damage mod on, so you have to remember that. We have to be very careful as we got very close to Satil there. Some cars going very slowly through the opening sequence of corners. I believe Alonso has lost his front wing. That is unbelievable. Alonso has had such bad luck in the last few races, especially from the kind of track position that he's had. He's been on target to win so many the last few races, but he's just retired from most of those, and it looks like he might be heading towards a similar kind of result today. The end of lap 1, we can see Raikkonen is pitting as well, so the Ferrari boys have a lot of work to do for the rest of this race. But lap 2, we can see Daniel Ricciardo has beached it in the wall, and we have a safety car here on lap 2 of the Singapore Grand Prix. So, crazy start here. We got through the field up into P5 now. We can see Jensen is right in front of us. I was thinking about making a pit stop, but it's just too early on in the race to be thinking about that. I believe we'll be coming in on lap 9. So we'll stay out on the super soft tyres. We'll still stick to I think it's a 2-stop race. So I don't want to really give up all my track position anyway, because it's so early on in the race and the field is so compressed at the moment. If it was maybe later on in the race or the field was a bit more spread, I probably would have came in, to be honest. But either way, lap 5, we're trying to move forward as much as we can. Button is right in front of us as we come into the hairpin here. He brakes early, and we were committed to going up the inside, so we've taken his place now for P4. And Hulkenberg is in the podium position, so the Hulk now is looking very good in the last few races. He's trying to attack Hamilton and Vettel. Vettel leads the race, and Hamilton for the last few laps, we've been watching him. He's been having some really good runs at the end of this straight, and now finally I think Hamilton has taken the lead. Vettel is seemingly, I don't know, he's going defensive. He's not really fast in this first stint, so he had to, I guess, park the bus a little bit. Now he's dropped 3 positions on this lap, so Vettel is falling like a stone through the field at the moment. He might be saving fuel. I'm not too sure what the deal is there, but the Red Bull's lack of straight line speed is really costing him here, even in Singapore. That's very interesting to note. But lap 8, we're now coming in for our first pit stop of the race. We were scheduled to come in on the next lap, but I'm actually going to go for the undercut and try and make some inroads on Hamilton, because he skipped out a bit of a lead, and I don't want him to just walk away with this race. So I'm going straight back on to the soft compound tyre, or the super soft compound tyres, in an effort to get in front of Hamilton and really control the race if I can. But unfortunately on the next lap we can see Grosjean, who hasn't stopped yet. He's holding us up a little bit. We'll try and dispatch of him now as we come into turn 1. There's a few more cars, including my teammate, who have made their stops on this lap. That's Hulkenberg off to the left. Have we jumped him? Yes, we have. So the undercut has worked on Hulkenberg. Unfortunately though, Hamilton just had too much of a lead, and unfortunately we weren't able to jump him in the pit stop phases. But at the end of lap 10, the rest of the option runners are now making their stops, and that promotes us up into P3, with Alonso leading the race as we have a second safety car of the race. Not too sure what this one is for. We're now down to 17 runners in the Grand Prix. I've now opted to come in to go onto the prime tyres and switch to a 3-stop, because seeing the AOR race the other day, I saw how crap the prime tyres were. So I'm essentially going to get rid of the crap tyres now and then put on the option tyres to run to the end. So fingers crossed this strategy can work for me. I'm going to be down the order a little bit, but track position should come back to me at the end of the race, if that makes sense. So essentially, I need to win myself this race by carving through the field as much as I can through this shorter middle stint on the primes. So we should be able to come back at Hamilton towards the end of the race on a set of super soft tyres. So here we go for the restart here on lap 13. It still says the safety car period for whatever reason, but we've been disqualified from the Singapore Grand Prix for no reason. What the hell was that for? The safety car has pulled into the pit lane, and I think as I go to overtake it, I've got disqualified, even though everyone else did the same thing. So we've done a flashback here just to see if we can fix it, and nah, it's happened again. So whatever reason, this is some kind of massive Codemasters glitch. There was really no way of me getting around that, so I had to red flag the race. We'll start again, do a standing restart from exactly where we were. But that is a massive glitch. I can't believe I got disqualified just for overtaking the safety car, but the AI cars didn't. Whatever. Here we go now for restart number 2 here on lap 14, and away we go here in Singapore once more. We've lost a bit of position there off the start there, so that's a little bit unfair, but coming into turn 1 though, we've made up a little bit of that ground back as Sauber sort of forces us off the road there. So that's something for Charlie Whiting to look at possibly. But either way, back up into P8. Alonso, as I said before, the safety car period, he leads the race. He got the super undercut on everyone because if you remember, he stopped on the first lap as we got the inside of Gutierrez there. He put on the prime tyres, and he now effectively has the lead, but I think he'll be stopping very soon for a new set of tyres. So that strategy looks very interesting for Alonso. He's got track position at the moment as we got the inside of our teammate there. Jensen there goes into the hairpin a little bit too hot, and now he's squeezing us out as we take his position around the outside now. So lap 16 now, Grosjean going very slowly once again. He hasn't made his second pit stop, I believe. So we should be able to overtake him as we get a lot of oversteer there on the exit of turn 1. Vettel has overtaken us, so we've lost that position now. So we'll need to work hard to get that place back if we can. But thinking of race strategy now will be coming in around lap 23, 24-ish for a set of super soft tyres. So I want to get off these primes as soon as I can as we then dispatch of Grosjean. Throw that hand up in there like you mean it. But now lap 18, we're trying to catch up to Bottas. We've got some clean air now, but we're thinking about that next pit stop. So I think it's about 5 laps away-ish. So we'll see as the safety car now has come out again on lap 18. I think this is safety car number 3 on an 18-lap race. The AI cars really can't stay off the walls here in Singapore. But anyway, coming through the final corner now for the restart. The safety car pulls off, and it's happened again. I don't believe this. It's happened again. What? I don't understand why this is happening and why I'm being singled out for being disqualified in this race. We're out of the Singapore Grand Prix. We've been disqualified by this massive Codemasters glitch. This game, sometimes, I have absolutely no idea why this happens. Illegal overtake. Disqualified for that. I don't know. Every time that music comes on as well, something bad happens. But we decided to do the red flag thing again. We've restarted from pretty much where we ended off. 5 red lights now. And away we go here in Singapore once more for the 3rd restart of this race. And once again, we got off to a terrible start. But so far, this is sort of a simulation as to the safety car restarts we were going to get from the FIA. But luckily they scrapped that rule. But anyway, lap 19, we're settling into the race once again. I believe the leaders now in front of me are coming in for their final pit stop. So Hülkenberg and Hamilton will now relinquish the lead to me. But we've got to do about, I don't know, I think we're going to do one more lap now and come onto the set of super soft tyres at the end of this lap. So we haven't, I guess, reacted soon enough, and now we've sort of conceded the undercut to those guys. So we might possibly lose out to Hamilton and Hülkenberg now. So if there's one positive to take from this scenario, it's that we do have fresher tyres for the rest of the race. So hopefully tyre wear isn't too much of an issue now as we get a 3.7 second pit stop there. So now the task is to chase down Hamilton and Hülkenberg and try to win this race. So here we go, lap 25, getting a bit of a corner cut there as we come across the line, setting purple lap times there, 45.1, and now catching up to the back of Maldonado now, who somehow has got himself up in a P5 now. We're going to try and possibly go up the inside now into this hairpin. Do we? Yes, he leaves the room, and we go up the inside a bit cautiously, I must say, because it is Maldonado. Sometimes you just need to leave him that little bit more room to get the move done. But lap 27, we're still in P5, so for whatever reason, someone's in front of Hamilton and they're not stopping it, and I don't believe they'll stop because the AI traditionally don't stop in the last 3 laps rather. So lap 28, we were trying to push to catch Hamilton as much as we can. We push the boundaries a little bit too much, and as we slow it down, I shifted down to second gear there to try and avoid hitting the wall, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. And now lap 29, we've sort of eased it off now because I've conceded that we won't catch Hamilton, but I'm really curious as to who's in front of him. It's Raikkonen, Vettel and Alonso. I believe they got into the lead of the Grand Prix by pitting under the safety car. We had to stop in green flag running, so that's how we lost out massively. Alonso has won the race. Somehow, we've come home in P5. A very solid P5 at that as well.
Congratulations, 5th place.
So yeah, somehow Alonso has won the Singapore Grand Prix after stopping on the very first lap, losing its front wing. I think he pitted under the final safety car. He gained massively out of that. Myself, Hamilton and Hülkenberg, we all stopped under green flag running for our final pit stop. And I think that's how we lost so much time and dropped from the lead of the Grand Prix. So very interesting race here in Singapore. We could have got disqualified by that glitch from the Codemasters safety car thing. I don't know what the hell that was. Let me know if you've ever experienced that in the comments section below. In the driver's standings, we've now dropped 2 points to Hamilton, 16 points behind. But moving on to Suzuka in just a few minutes time, we'll see if we can make some inroads on that championship lead of his. So that's the Singapore Grand Prix. It's time to move on to Suzuka now, and we're straight into qualifying 1 now. On a set of prime tyres, we should easily make it out of Q1 to be honest, but that first qualifying lap isn't very promising, is it? The end of the session now, and we really need to perform as we're 5/10 up on our previous personal best, coming through the final chicane for the final time. In this qualifying 1 session, we should easily make it into Q2 here, so fingers crossed we can see where we end up as we cross the line. 17th place. So we have not made it out of Q1 in this qualifying session, but at the time of doing this is about 1 o'clock midnight. I actually thought I made it to Q2 there because my name sort of wasn't blurred out there. So what I thought right now, I thought I was going to Q2, just going straight out on track, but we're actually going on to the race now. So I was essentially completely unprepared for this race start here. I don't even know what the race strategy is either, so we're jumping straight into this race here. It should be a very interesting one here, the Japanese Grand Prix. Alright, so here we are for the Japanese Grand Prix. You can see my driver is really eyeing off John-Eric Verne there, for whatever reason. But here we go for the Japanese Grand Prix. 5 red lights, and away we go here in Japan. It looks like a fairly clean start for the leaders there. And coming into turn 1 now, we'll see if we can pick up a position from Verne. We've got a Marussia on our inside, so we'll need to watch out for those guys. There's a few cars going slowly through this opening sequence of corners. That is to be expected though at the start of the race. So we'll see if we can pick up a few positions here if we can. Going up the inside of Kvyat. No, there's no room there for us to go there, so I have to tuck in for now. Possibly hold it around the outside, which turns to the inside now for this left-hander, now up into P12 now. So picking up a few positions on the opening sequence of corners. Next up is Hülkenberg, who was looking very good in the previous race in Singapore. We'll see if we can't get past him as soon as we can now as we go through Degner 1. Bit of dirty air there as you go through there, but we go up the inside of Hülkenberg there and into P11 there, so he's dropped down a position, but I assume he'll be following me through the field as well. So halfway through lap 1 now, and we've made some steady gains through the field, I must say. I think Hamilton, the blue dot on the mini-map, is about 3rd or 4th or something like that. Jensen Button is pretty close to him as well, so we'll see if we can't make some inroads on those guys. As now on lap 4, we're actually going purple to the first sector intermediate, going up the inside of Perez there at the last minute. He left the door open there, so I didn't need any second invitation. That's us up into the points paying positions for the first time in this race. Now down to 20 runners in the Grand Prix. as well, but there's no sign of safety car. To be honest, I don't even want to see a safety car this race after what happened in Singapore, yeah. So, getting past Bottas as well. Next up is Alonso. Very surprising to see last race winner down the order a little bit, but we go the inside and into position 8. Next up is Ricciardo, who managed to DNF in the previous race. He'll be looking to make amends in this one. So looks like he's got some decent straight line speed, but no, the slipstream is now starting to kick in. We're possibly going to go around the outside through 130R. I was absolutely crapping myself as I went around the outside of Ricciardo there. Looking at it on the screen there, it did look to be pretty smooth, but trust me, I was absolutely bricking it through there. There was absolutely no room for me to really get through there. I was trying not to hit Ricciardo, but at the same time, I was trying not to touch that outside curbing there, because it can send you into the walls with the auto spin curve there. So going through here, you can see in slow motion the replay of the pass, fully committed around the outside into 130R. This could well be the best overtake of the season. It was just so clean and so precise. We got the move done, and I was very, very happy with that. So lap 6 now, we're getting called now for our pit stop, and we'll be coming in for a set of primes now. So we can see a few leaders coming in as well, including Hamilton, I think Vettel, and Alonso as well. So very interesting scenes here. We'll see if we can't jump those guys in the pit stops. 3.7 second pit stop there, so very good stop there from the McLaren boys. And we've actually made some inroads on Hamilton, who lost a position to a Red Bull, I believe. So looking very good now as we head into this middle stint now. But unfortunately, because I didn't really know what the strategy was, I went on to a set of primes when the AI actually went on to a set of options here. So through this middle stint here, we might see us looking a little bit vulnerable to the cars behind us though. But we have perfected the undercut though, and we picked up 2 positions from where we were before the pit stop. So going from P8 to P6 thanks to the undercut there. So lap 10 now, we can see Ricciardo is behind us though, but he's not quite close enough, as Vettel has made a mistake coming into the first 2 corners. I think it was either an unforced error or he was forced off the road by someone going around the outside possibly. But lap 18, we can see we're still in P2 now. Well, we've moved up into P2 now, as all the option runners made their second pit stop, and now we've got really good track position now. But I've really stretched out my primes a long way now, so I've tried to effectively do 2 stops compared to the AI doing 3. But Hamilton getting a really nice run there as we got oversteer. We're going side by side now into 130R. Is Hamilton about to pull the same move I did to Ricciardo? No, he does not. We maintain P2 for now. We're actually getting ready for a pit stop very soon. And the rain, I've just been told by the engineer, is coming down in about 15 minutes time. Coming into the pit lane now, and Hamilton has been dragged into the pits as well. He was sort of blocking us from going into the pit lane. As you can see on the replay, he got dragged along with us, and then he sort of put it into the pit wall there. I'm not too sure if he lost his front wing there, but looking on the replay, we're turning into the pits. Hamilton got a really nice exit, and that's how he got alongside. But yeah, completely blocking us from going into the pit lane. And this is going to stir some controversy in the comments, I know. At the time of turning in, I didn't have Hamilton, you know, alongside me. I didn't know he was alongside me. I was just turning into the pits. But because Hamilton got such a nice exit, he then all of a sudden got alongside me. And yeah, he put it in the pit wall. He lost his front wing, so I assume he's going to be coming in for a new pit stop as well. As we actually came in at the exact same time as Jenson Button, so he's going to lose out pretty massively as well. Raikkonen now moves up into P4 now, effectively behind us. And now there's 19 runners in the Grand Prix. I thought there was 20 just before, but either way, now we're getting another call for light rain in under 10 minutes time, so we could see it happen at the end of the race. And looking on the timing screen there, Hamilton is down into 20th place, so he has retired from the Japanese Grand Prix. Hamilton, you could have easily just came into the pits and changed your front wing and continued on. I don't know why Hamilton gives up so easy. Sometimes, I don't know, I question. I don't know if he's championship worthy after that performance, but either way, lap 21, we're actually out-tractioning an AI car for once and going around the outside of Massa. That's us up into effective 3rd place with Alonso in 2nd briefly before he made his next pit stop. So lap 22, we're lapping Max Chilton there, as we can see a few droplets of rain now starting to appear. And now finally on lap 25, You can see the tyres there, they're still green, so I'm going to stay out for one more lap. So long as they stay green and don't go blue, then we should be fine on staying on the dry tyres. So coming into turn 1 now, Raikkonen still a few car lengths back, and now going through turn 1, the tyres have all of a sudden just gone blue. So now we're all of a sudden going to be in struggle street here as the AI cars behind us are starting to train up. We've lost, I don't know, about 5 or 6 seconds compared to the previous lap, and the traction has completely just gone out the window. You know, if the tyres just would have gone blue about 10 seconds earlier, I could have reacted to that and just gone straight onto the intermediate tyres. And now it's really going to kill us here as we've dropped now to 4th place. I think we have to come in for a set of inters here, otherwise we're going to lose out so much time. Going up the inside of Jensen there, that wasn't a pass, that was us just losing complete grip, and we locked up completely, somehow missing our teammate and missing Kimi Raikkonen. You can see on the replay here, just avoiding our teammate, and then we get so close to Raikkonen. It's unbelievable. I need to show a replay of the front nose cam just to show how close we got to Raikkonen. We had no control over the car, just missing Raikkonen. And that could have potentially put us out of the race on the penultimate lap of the Japanese Grand Prix. As you can see on the cockpit cam there, you can see the front tyres are completely locked up. So that means I've got no control over where the car is going to go. And thankfully, that did not end up in disaster. So we overshot the final chicane. We're going to pull into the pits now after Ricciardo moves past us. And I think we actually just clipped him there. So very lucky to get away with disaster. Not once, but twice there. So yeah, coming into the pits now for a set of intermediate tyres now, and we'll see how this plays out. You know, ideally I would have loved to have come in on the previous lap, as we get a 3.7 second pit stop there. There are cars behind us that have actually come in as well, so that kind of debunks the myth that AI cars don't come in the final 3 laps. So just keep an eye out for Hulkenberg and see where he finishes in this race. We can see there's a few cars in front of us who are going very slowly, and I think it's mainly down to the rain coming down so heavily in the last 3 laps. It's almost, if the race would have gone on for another lap or 2, we would have been going on to wets. That's how heavy it is at the moment. But Nico Rosberg has won, overtook Vettel there, and Ricciardo going so slowly into the spoon curve. We had to shift down to 1st gear just to avoid him. We now move to the outside to take his position. Jensen is up next. Unfortunately for him, he won't finish on the podium today. But that means more spoils for us today, doesn't it? Next up is Raikkonen. He's a few seconds up the road. If you remember to last season, this is exactly where we overtook Ricciardo on the final lap to win that race. We're going to do the exact same thing here to Raikkonen to take 2nd. Nico Rosberg here is going to win the race by an absolute mile though. For us, it's going to be 2nd place, and with Hamilton DNFing, it's now going to mean that we have taken the championship lead.
Brilliant driving, brilliant driving.
So there we go, lads. 2nd place in the Japanese Grand Prix. We finished a long way behind Rosberg in the end, but that still felt like a win. To come back, you know, with the rain, it looked like we were going to lose a podium place there, but in the last minute, we switched to inters. We avoided disaster by not hitting Kimi Raikkonen and our teammate in the process. To finish 2nd in the end in a very, very crazy race. As you can see in the race director, you can see like the split of drivers who went for inters and the drivers that stayed out on dry tyres. You can see pretty much everyone except the leaders came in for intermediate tyres. So the guys with track position obviously didn't want to lose that, but the guys down the order, they had nothing to lose really, and I think they actually gained a bit, especially Hulkenberg, who I think was around 8th or something like that. I'm not too sure, so don't quote me on that, but he actually managed to pass a few people, including Vettel, who lost out big time at the end of that race, ending up in 9th. So, crazy race, double episode. Remember, if we hit 2,000 likes on this video, then I'll release a very special video that you guys have been wanting to see for a very long time. So you'll have to wait and see what that is. But driver's standings, we now have the championship lead back, thanks to Hamilton DNFing in what was a very weird incident with him getting dragged into the pit lane. He could have easily came back into the pits. He was right there. He could have fixed his front wing and just go straight back out, but he wanted to retire. That was his choice, and he was out of the Grand Prix. So this championship fight is going to be very interesting now. I believe there's 4 races left, double points on offer for Abu Dhabi as well. It could be very interesting. I'm not too sure who's going to win. I'm going to try and do my best. I need to sort out my pace, to be honest, because I haven't won a race in a very long time. Mercedes, they're looking a bit scrappy at the moment all over the place as well. So it could be anyone's championship, really, especially with Ferrari closing us in pretty rapidly. So that's been the Japanese Grand Prix and the Singapore Grand Prix all in one episode. Hope you guys enjoyed that. But until the next race, I'll see you guys next time.